5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
4 o'clock here in New York, and I am here. The illustrious crowd is gathered. I tell you what, people, it is Friday. We have a great guest today, a friend of mine I've known for a very long time. We've kicked around in the same territory of life, and he's an interesting guy, and I think you're going to really have a good time with him. When I give you his bio, it's really hard to do. My gosh, I mean, he's an artist, he's a producer, he's a writer, he's a historian. And in his latest book, he wrote a book about music, the greatest music of the 20th century, which is, me, that's kind of right. That's my department here at the Live with Neve building. I am the king of music, but now my throne's been taken, and the crown is being held by the one and only John R. Schneider. He is also a former resident, and his family's been a resident of the town I live in, which I won't put on here just because, I don't know, being in the witness protection program, I'm already pushing it being here live with you. So we've got about an hour to talk, and we're going to be talking to him about all the cool stuff he's done over the years. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and just peruse what's going out on our Friday. It's 4 o'clock, so remember in journalism at the top, in fact, we'll talk to John real briefly. Friday is the day that they send out, when there's a bigger than normal deception being planned, they spill out all the bad news on a Friday. And that kind of, nobody listens to it. So if there's something that they want you to not hear, they'll put it out on a Friday after 5 or 6. And that way, everybody else is worried about getting out to Montauk on the weekend. All of the people who make any decisions, they're gone after this time of day in New York. Like, somebody's calling me right now. I have no idea who this is, and they're calling on my iWatch, whatever this thing. Theoretically, I could turn that on and click it into my headset, but no. So we're looking here. There's all kinds of weird stuff going on today. And interesting news, whether you're a fan or not, and look, I don't care whether you hate Trump, you love Trump, don't call in and get all too pushy about it, okay? I respect everybody's opinion, but this show is not politically oriented unless I decide it is on the time and place I decide it. So I'm a benevolent dictator here, and so when you're watching the show, know that at any time it might just go completely off the rails, and people who think I might be Republican would find me in dangerous Democratic territory. Or then I swing to the right, and I would be in dangerous Republican territory for the Democrats, or I'd be somewhere in the middle where I'm always sitting here getting shit thrown and fucking A, I just don't care. So Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, he's done a lot for peace lately, and I have to say the Nobel Prize Committee has snubbed him. They just said, forget it, Donald. I'm going to only comment that they once gave this to not even a sitting president who had done nothing for peace except exist. So that's all I'm going to say. You can guess. I don't like bullshit wherever it comes from. And I think that was kind of lame. The guy, he does work hard whether you like him or not. Trump's getting an MRI. Oh, God, people are going to be calling for his death now. Let's see. This has more red flags. Wow. Thiel is having private lectures, warnings of the Antichrist and the nation's destruction. Okay, that's getting a little too heavy for this show. Oh, here we go. There is a record smashing. Wow, there is a record smashing mega baby. In the old days, they just called him a fat little bastard, but look at him. God, people bring out their kid, and it's like, look at this. That's not a cute child. I'm sorry. I know you people out there who love babies. Kid's like a freaking goblin. I'm sorry. Can I tell you? Now, in other news, we have, it's just so weird. We got Melania talking Putin wants to deal directly with me. I'll bet he does. Cotter's getting an Air Force facility in Idaho. What in the God name? What? Great Caesar's ghost. Can anybody out there tell me where that phrase came from? A little bit of trivia fun for all you trivia wonks out there. Area 51 crash mystery is deepening. As if it couldn't get any deeper. I wear my boots and carry a shovel every time I start hearing about it. Not that there's not perhaps little green alien critters running around. We have, look, we got trust me, we have them. Now there's a new claim that circumcision is linked to autism. Furthermore, what will she do with the evening news? We're not conservative opinion page, declares Washington Post columnist. And then we have the AI prompt that could end the world. Let's see if we can not say it. I'm going to do a pantomime. We're going to play like where you draw pictures, Pictionary, to try and get this to point to you. How much do we have to fear from AI? There's some things we should be fearful of. But let me say this. Is any people old enough to remember Y2K? The end of the world coming in rapid fashion just because all of our computers had a computer bug that was going to say on January 1st, I guess around 2004 or 5, somewhere back then. I don't know, I was drinking a lot in those days. At any rate, they decided that when the clocks hit midnight on when everybody was sitting in Times Square piling on the liquor, the cocaine, and having a great Christmas and New Year's celebration, all of a sudden shit was going to come loose. Cars were going to fly off the road. It's going to be almost as cool as the Rapture when you see everybody cruising up. If you believe that kind of thing, cool if you do. I'm not poking fun, but hell, I've never seen it on TV. But that's kind of what would happen in the Y2K world. The whole country was like. People were freaking out. Now, mostly it was journalists freaking out because I think that was sort of a slow news year or something. So for the whole build up to it, it's kind of like the build up to a hurricane, guys. Right in the days coming up to it, it's like right now. There's a tropical storm off the coast of New Jersey, and I'm looking outside. Yeah, the tide's high at this time of day. It's already high, and we got a nor'easter coming in. Now it won't be here till Sunday, but. All I'm going to say is grab your milk and your toilet paper. And I don't know, personally, I'd be grabbing a bunch of Cheetos. And, if you have anybody in the house who drinks, you got to get them all liquored up and you got to get some good food in. And here's my thing is if the power goes out, which here where I live, I won't tell you where, but the power grid blows. It's underfunded and overextended, but we won't get into any, like I said, we won't get any real politicking here. People could die, So we're just a few minutes out. We got about 5 more minutes before I'm going to bring our guest on. And I just want to show you a little something. This is, that is the wrong one. But that is a great book. I read this and read it again, and I like it a hell of a lot. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. That was the greatest book right there. I'm going to wait till John comes on to really talk about it. And I'm going to let him do all the talking for a change because I have some great questions for him. And I think you guys are going to find him really a funny guy. I think he's great. We've done all kinds of things over the years. I did an acting bit in one of his pieces for it was some kind of Monmouth County Drug Abuse Foundation. And my guitar player friend of mine, Jack, and I had to, imagine this, our first acting role as members of a rock and roll band was pretending that we were a couple of junkies hitting up, and then Jack keels over on the floor, and it was pretty fun. There's day drinking involved and all kinds of shenanigans, and we had EMTs coming and going and people coming in, and then Jack dies, and while we're filming it, and it was amazing. One of our other friends was taking stills of the event, and she was crying because Jack looked moribund. He was not moving, and Jack, you're a hell of an actor, man. I could just see Nicholson in his house going, yeah, 40 years of shit. And this fucking guy is an actor? No. Especially about my part. All I can say is it was a good time. I'm looking across the last of the news. I'm just trying to find some more absurd things. Like, here's one. We have a LA police, they accuse a Playboy model of high-end luxury burglaries. Reminds me of a girl I once dated who... I have another person who in my life owned a haircutting salon, and his wife owned a Victoria's Secrets in a mall. And during my, what we'll call it, time with this young lady, I noticed that she had an amazing, amazing collection of that kind of thing. Victoria's Not So Secrets and all that. And it was sort of like every time you went, you'd be like, oh, what do we have here? Let's unwrap this thing. Anyhow, reminds me of the joke of the octopus in the bar. There's a guy sitting there, and there's a pair of bagpipes sitting on the bar, and a guy gets up and plays it and then sets it back down. The next thing you know, the octopus is over there, and it's hammering away at it. And the octopus is like, I don't know what it is, but it's my new girlfriend. I didn't use the terminology correctly, but... So we have some woman who's running loose in LA, a Playboy model of high-end burglaries. It's probably all the dudes she, visits during the day. They probably give her keys and, show up at 5 o'clock. Yeah, I know how these characters get caught, believe me. Best thing to do is just don't screw around, man. It's hell if you get caught. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. I'll tell you that. Some of that shit can bite your ass. Paying bills, and all kinds of shit. So, we can look at one last thing before I end this and get on to the real part of the show that's going to be fun. How much do we have to fear? I want to hear just what is the actual phrase? Reinforcement learning with human. Okay, can you get me more information on this, please? Really? Hope you're talking back to me over there. Okay, enough about this. There's no real info that's going to tell us if we decide one day we just want to end the world. The prompt is not available for good reason, folks. So, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a brief commercial break. And I'm going to sit here and look at the little ball spin. That's always the kiss of death with anything computer, you see it, but... Here you are, you're live with Neve. It is 4:15, half past the hour, and we'll be back with my guest, the one and only John Schneider. He'll be there shortly, and check him out.
Hey guys, my name's Eli Alger, and I'm here on Live with Neve.
Hey everybody, this is Steve from Reach for the Sky, along with Jay from Reach for the Sky. And you're listening live with Neve.
Hey there, it's Kevin Sorbo here, and you lucky people, you are live. You're live with Neve or Neve or Neve. I don't know. I can't say the dude's name. Anyway, you're on live with him, so I don't know. I guess that's a pretty good thing.
Like a melting flake of snow.
This year, I haven't.
I won't be sad to see it.
I'd have never guessed.
Hi, I'm Darren F. Flynn, a singer-songwriter from Ireland, and I'm on Live with Neve.
I would have said it couldn't happen here.
We have an exciting connection for our veterans, country music fans, and there is something for everyone. Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. That's right, we've partnered with Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. See you soon.
There's some changes headed, like the Gulf Stream rising, like
all right, some Carlton Wilkinson for you
blowing
from Atlantic
this
Highlands.
wild bird island shore, and I can't say where, and I don't know when, but some old door's been opened in the restless shade. Poor man sagging cigarette takes the subway. Rich man folding old regret steps on the rundown.
All right, we're back. And it's Live with Neve, and we're going to have my good buddy John Schneider. I'm just going to tell you something, folks. This is a really creative guy, and I think you're going to dig this interview a lot. I can't say enough about his writing skills and skills as a historian, and just as an interesting cat. We're lucky to have him here in the area, writing great books about the area and about cool stuff. I mean, this is a cool book. If you like music, I can't recommend it enough. It's just great, and it's a lot of fun. So without any more hype here, I'm going to set the bar up here, man. I'm telling you. Here he is. John, how are you, buddy?
Man, oh man, I couldn't be better. I didn't know, Neil, that you were a comedian. You're funny. I laughed at least once while you were doing your opening monologue.
Well, you know.
Hey, by the way, Great Caesar's Ghost, right?
Yes.
I know who said it.
Who
Great
said it?
Caesar's Ghost. Do you remember?
I do. It was the
Remember
actor
the guy's
who
name?
played he was the boss at the Superman's office.
Harry
Clark
West.
Kent was I can't think of his name. He's the chief. Don't call me chief.
Don't call me Chief. Great Caesar's Ghost.
Get out of here. Great Caesar's Ghost. Young Jimmy, get out of here. And go
Now,
pick
you're
up
a-
a hooker or something.
You're a drummer, right? You drum?
I am, sort of, yes.
Yeah. How many different drum sets do you have now?
Just two.
Two.
Two. And
You
then
know
I
what the
have-
difference is between remember savings bonds?
Oh, hell yeah.
You know the difference between a savings bond and a drummer?
No, I do not.
One of them will eventually mature and start making money.
And on that note,
Hey, everybody, how you doing? I actually, my claim to fame, I've done everything. You just name a
Yes.
profession, I've done it. I opened as a comedian years ago down in Washington, D.C. at a club. It was Garvin's Comedy Club. I opened for Eddie Murphy, and it was kind of funny. He got on after I did my thing, and then he got on, started cutting on me. And that was the night that he said the next day, it was a Friday night, he was going to New York City to interview for a job with Saturday Night Live.
wow.
And of course, that was, my other claim to fame was I was going to be an actor. And so I went to the Academy of Dramatic Arts and did a couple of films and did some stage plays in New York and that sort of thing. And I had a friend of mine, Sylvester Stallone. We were both ushers in the movie theater while we were trying to be actors. And he said to me, John, he says, I'm thinking about being an actor. This is the first time he told me this. And I kind of laughed at him because he talked in a kind of a weird way. I don't know, I don't want to imitate.
Hey there, John, we're
exactly.
gonna I'm gonna be an actor,
Hey,
I gotta get a
that's it. No,
dialogue
you do it.
coach.
You do it
They
well.
talk
You
to
do it
like
well.
Philly like, man.
So I thought, oh my God, I'm a serious actor. I'm going to be the actor. If anybody's going to be the actor, and then I hear he's going to get an Academy Award for Rocky. I got back at him, though I slept with his wife. So that should not go past. You don't have a
But
large
the
audience, do you?
Was that the big Coco Chanel or whatever?
No.
Amazon
She
woman?
was an actress too. I better not tell her name, but no, she. That's where I met my wife, because Sly's Sylvester Stallone's wife and my wife eventually were roommates together, and I met my wife through Sly and his wife. And
Did you sleep with her before or after all this?
I slept with him after he got his Academy Award, because by that time he had broken up. I
heard you did something to my wife.
He was a big cheese. You know, I have so much respect for musicians, guys like you, probably a lot of the people that are listening to this program. I really do. I've never thought of myself. I thought of myself as kind of a Renaissance guy. I do a lot of different things.
Yes, are you having your windows washed?
I
have to say that is the first on the show we have.
Let me get the animal thing over with.
We get the Wranglers in here. They're bringing on a Puma.
I've
And you
spent
see
a lot.
it Mall John.
Can you show people who I used to play piano with back in my early days? Do you have that up?
Let's see. I'm looking down
this
here.
This is my sister, who Neil's going to try to show you. Her name is Margaret,
yes.
And Margaret lived with my grandma, and I would come up to that's Margaret, and we used to play together at this very piano together. And we'd kind of pound on it and do stuff, and I'd make up songs, and my grandmother would pretend to like them. And the chimp, quite frankly, was a little bit better than me. She was.
Did you teach any particular songs?
No, she. But right up here, you probably can't see it, but I have a chimpanzee bite right here, because it was pretty much sibling rivalry. I used to like to play with her toys, and she used to play with mine. I let her play with mine, but she was kind of selfish with her toys. So I just couldn't dig it.
Was this the monkey that bit you, or was it a different creature?
Yeah, this is the monkey that bit me, and I killed her.
Wow.
No, I didn't really kill. I've grown up with animals. Today I have 5 of these. I have 3 parrotlets. This is the smallest parrot in the world. Comes from South America. I have 2 other parrots. I have 2 cats. I have a dog. I have 3 chickens. I used to have a rabbit, but it was killed by a fox. Good God, what bridge are we under?
That's in beautiful Los Angeles, heading north out of L.A.
My daughter used to work in Los Angeles for a television studio out there. I worked for ABC Television as well. I was a film editor. I was an announcer. I worked for Mutual Broadcasting. I was a disc jockey. So I liked playing songs on the radio. And I've always loved music. And I thought, did you just ask me a question?
No, go ahead.
You were just going to ask me, why did you write the book called The Greatest Music of the 20th Century?
Why, John, did you write the book right here? Folks?
I don't know, Neil. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. There's a lot of musicians in the world, and they have multiplied over the years. It used to be that you could buy a guitar and learn 3 or 4 chords, impress the girls, and you were the big cheese in school.
Absolutely.
That was back in the 60s, because every song was basically 3 or 4.
It was always a good time to be alive in the 70s and the 60s.
A great time.
That's all I can say, folks. If you can remember them at all, you weren't really having fun. But
Exactly. Can you play the video promo for my book, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about the book?
Yeah. Let me just go through here in the promo thing.
This all should have been rehearsed. We've rehearsed every day for the last 5 days.
For a month. Now, is this a video of?
Yeah, don't we?
Okay.
No, that's not it. That's not a video. What's wrong with you? That's just an ad. But we can flip through all of these until we get to it.
I don't see anything that says ad. Hold on. Greatest music.
Hey, folks, it's John Schneider.
Is that
That's
it?
it. Yeah. About my life, and I do think about my life a lot. I don't measure it in years. Maybe like you, I measure it in songs and music. And every time I hear a song, it takes me back to a certain time or a certain place or a certain feeling. Look, I started learning to play guitar and piano when I was very young. In fact, this is the piano I used to play at. This was my sister Margaret. Yes, she lived with us. And we both sat down at the piano and we used to play together. And I never stopped. She stopped eventually. I played in bands. I sang on stage. I even spent hours in recording studios in Memphis and New York. And 6 CDs later, music for me wasn't just a hobby. It was, in fact, the rhythm of my life. I was also a DJ at dances, so I loved to kind of play songs that got people moving. I saw how a song could change the whole room. I mean, 1 minute the lights are low, the crowd is quiet, and then the right track drops, and boom, man, everybody's alive again. And there's a lot of pieces to the book that I wrote, and I'm going to tell you about it in a minute. But I wanted to talk about jazz. Jazz gave us freedom. Rock and roll gave us rebellion. I love disco. Disco gave us Saturday nights. Punk gave us attitude. And hip hop, which I didn't think would last this long, gave us poetry on the streets. And country and gospel, I like that too, gave us roots and gave us faith. And that's why I think I wrote this book, The Greatest Music of the 20th Century, not as a textbook, but as a love letter. That's what I think. A jukebox of the songs and stories that shaped us. And so every chapter is like dropping the needle on a record. The crackle, the groove, the moment the music takes you somewhere you didn't expect. In the smoky jazz clubs, in the sweaty rock halls, in the basement parties, in the stadium sing-alongs, and oh yeah, even on the dance floor under a glittering disco ball. I have a disco ball hanging from my ceiling. So I think because music is more than entertainment, it's things like protest, it's hope, it's heartbreak, it's joy. I believe that this book was important for me to write, to remember everything that music represented. And if you've ever sung in the shower, tapped your foot in traffic, or let one song carry you back through time, you already know what I mean, right? I lived it. I played it. I spun it. I've danced to it. And now I've written it down for us to think about together. I wonder if you agree with some of the choices I have in the book about my best songs for different decades. So, The Greatest Music of the 20th Century. I think it's a cool book. Open the book and let the jukebox play, folks. And here's what I suggest. There's going to be a lot of songs, I think, that you're not familiar with. I had to go back and refamiliarize myself with lots of songs to make suggestions, and of course I do make suggestions. And so I would suggest that you have Alexa right next to you as you read the book. And if you come across a song that you've never heard about before, and I've recommended it, tell Alexa you want to hear this song. And that way you'll have an immersive, interactive experience with the book. The book is either at Amazon.com or at CreativeVisionMedia.com, or you can just contact me directly and we'll figure out a way to get it to you, okay? Greatest music of the 20th century. I think you're going to like this one. Hey, thanks, man. Rock on. Yeah. So, listen, when somebody says to you, Neil, right now without thinking, hey, what was the song you really grooved on when you were growing up? When you heard it, maybe on the radio, what really got you going? What was it?
What music first got my impression, or
the first thing that's coming to mind right now.
I'll tell you, the first thing that really knocked me off of my stool as a drummer and a young kid was the first time I heard Led Zeppelin. I just heard the record start up.
Oh. Three guns.
It just blew me away. And from that point on, I just said, well, first off, I want to play some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And every time a record would come out, I'd be riding my bicycle to the store. And records were about $3.50 to $5 back then. I'd get an album like Wish You Were Here, or I think in looking at the list in reading, I haven't read the whole book, but I've skimmed through the whole thing, and the list you have is great. And even though it's subjective to a lot of people, I can tell you this, as a cover band musician, every song you had on that list, I had played it probably 1,000 freaking times, whether it was for somebody saying, can you play this?
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of bands are going, oh, well, I'm not playing this stupid song. I'm like, yeah, we'll play it. It's in G, and I'm going to sing it, you know, or the guitar player, we'd all look at each other. Do you know it? Do you know it? Yeah, it's in B. And we just bang it out. But those songs you picked are what are, in the business, they call them evergreens, people.
Oh,
yes.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
That means mailbox money. Just every month you go out and pick it up and you go, oh. It's like, thank you,
1969, it was, they were having love-ins all over the country and musicians that come and play. And I remember going down, rock bands didn't really play in stadiums. Stadiums weren't a thing yet.
Right.
Rock bands were playing in the VFW halls and the American Legion and maybe even in the back of a restaurant or something. But they weren't there yet. And I went down to Miami. I lived in West Palm Beach to go see a band that I idolized in '69 was Iron Butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
And when I heard one of the longest songs ever recorded for radio,
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, baby.
Don't you know that I'm loving you? Flowers and beads are one thing, but having a girl, that's something. So I was right. The stage was a foot off the floor. I was right there. You know, like my feet were touching the stage. Wasn't all that many people, because not all that many people knew about him.
Right.
And it was an incredible experience. And back in those days, they didn't really have as many record shops or now they don't have any. But back in those days, you could go to Sears or Montgomery Ward and go to the record section, and you would pick out, you'd buy albums, sometimes based on songs you heard on the radio, but sometimes just because of the album cover.
Or you'd have a friend who might say, that was the thing for me. I had friends who were, you know, real music buffs, or their parents were. My friend's dad was a lawyer, and I remember the first time I heard Pink Floyd was sitting out on the point, this beautiful house, and it was one of the first times I ever smoked weed. There was like a couple of girls there, a couple of guys. My friend says, you got to hear this Dark Side of the Moon record.
Right.
He put it on, and we sat there, and we got high, and I think we had a couple of beers.
That's right. And you remember this shit. You remember it.
I've played that song. I've played that record songs from it 1,000 times. And
you and I are both drummers. I started off as a drummer. My first band, I was a drummer. I've had a lot of bands.
Right.
And I remember at the South Florida Love-In, was on the beach under some kind of big shelter or something like that.
Was it like a Diddy party? A lot of jugs of viscous fluids that you could, you know, carry with you?
I don't remember. I was just focused on the music, but I did. We played In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida because I had the experience of being in Miami. Right. And I played the fucking drum solo. Man, I don't think I did it exactly like the guy. I just
wasn't that like the judgment for all drummers until John Bonham came along? If you could play In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, people would come up and be like, I was a kid, man, and I was trying to play that song, and I just noticed how the older kids dug me, and the girls in particular.
But
it also saved me from getting an ass whipping for being a scrawny little long hair. Until I got popular with the crowd because I could play good. So everybody liked that.
Sure.
But until that, I was a nerd, man. I'm running around my books.
We're still nerds. But the thing is, when you're a drummer, I was always jealous that the guy could just bring the amp and the guitar and that was it. The drummer takes an hour to fit it in your car. You needed a station wagon or a Woody or a van.
I always tried to get him to pay more. I said, well, I carry more. I have to be here an hour early. I should get an extra hour's pay. But somehow it just never worked. It's usually the guitar player, too, is a real dick about it. What do you mean
you just asked me a question telepathically. You said, you asked it a little while ago, but you said, wait a minute, you never answered my first question. Why did you write the book? And the book, I've always loved music and I've always loved writing. And I've written about 20 different books on a variety of subjects. Yes. And I always write things on things that I'm passionate about, things that I want to know more about. So I started thinking to myself, what the fuck is music? What is it? What is it about it that it, even from the caveman days or the cavewoman days, to be politically correct, there was a rhythm, there was a beat, there was a melody. Why do some things resonate in our bones, in our brains, and in our blood, and some things don't? Why do we like something? I mean, I like all music, and I don't get it.
It brings on dopamine hits.
Yeah.
And that is one factor that, and some people, I'm lucky. If I hear a really great band, like when I heard Led Zeppelin a couple times, I got a chill from hearing the guitar and the vocal just going to town. It's called frisson.
Yeah.
Frisson. And when it happens, like to me, it's like I feel like I got a twitch almost. It's
But don't you feel like I can't have, I know this is a bit of a digression, but it's hard for me to have sex and listen to music at the same time. It has to be almost background music, because then I start thinking about the music and where I was and the words, and then I can't focus on the sex, and then my dick gets limp, and that's it. It's all over.
Well, we've hit a new low here. People on the show are not talking about limp dicks.
Wait, there's more.
Man.
I think my
but
girlfriend's
there's
listening.
more.
Call in, Donna. Call in and tell us that's right. But I think we're both like that. So I
common problem with middle-aged.
What's that?
Common problem with middle-aged men.
There you go. Well, I'm 76 years old.
Actually, I should get them to sponsor the show.
I was in this. I lived, and I still probably do live, but I lived in the 60s, and it's amazing to me, Neil, how the music of that era has survived. And kids, I used to teach at the high school, in a lot of different high schools as substitute teacher. The kids know the lyrics because their parents play the music.
Absolutely.
And people they know the words. And you as a musician, you know the words to a lot of songs. But when I wrote the book, I wanted to recapture that in words. So I have a lot of, it's not like I'm a famous musician, I'm not Paul McCartney and all that. And Donna's just said, what you talk about. What?
What are you talking about, Johnny?
Oh, now I'm in trouble. Hey,
Sue. How are you, babe? Thank you for watching so much.
I've watched your show a bunch. I'm a big fan.
I love Susan.
I love your guys, your people you have on.
Well, I'll tell you, I like to have fun. Having the show on is fun to me. It's
fun,
relaxing.
Donna. You hear that?
And hey, Donna, how you doing? Did Donna get her birds from you by any chance?
No, I don't know where. I don't know. But listen, I want to say something else. I like music trivia too. I've got a lot of books on music, and I love to know, why did the Beatles? Oh, Donna just said she's naked. I gotta go.
He's a neighbor. Don't worry, it's just a booty call.
But I'm always interested in trivia, yesterday and scrambled eggs. Everybody knows that story and all that kind of stuff. So I have trivia in the book too. But today I was fucking around like I usually do. I was out feeding the chickens. I've actually, Donna will tell you, I was in the rocking chair, one of those lazy boy recliners, with a chicken in my lap, and it was going to sleep, and I was petting it. But I started thinking about animals in general. And I have a question for you and your viewers. Name some songs that have titles with an animal in the title. Go ahead.
Name the bands?
No, name the song title.
Oh, a song
that has an animal. I'll give you a suggestion. Hound dog.
There you go. Baby Elephant Walk.
Okay, yeah. Cake.
Let me think some more stuff.
Was that Cake?
That was Herb Alpert.
Oh, okay.
Baby Elephant Walk, and lots of bands have played it. I think it's a great song, by the way. When I was a kid, I used to walk around to that song. The rhythm would take over, and my family would be like, "Sit down, Ernie." You're scaring the dog.
That's exactly right. So
Horse with No Name from Donna.
You talked about AI, and I want Donna, Horse with No Name. You said something about AI, and I have some strong feelings about AI. I'm all for it. But
I am too.
Let me put on this. Listen to this. Horse with No Name, America. Alligator Wine, Screaming Jay Hawkins. We know that. Atomic Dog, George Clinton. Baby Elephant Walk, Henry Mancini. Barracuda by heart. Bad Out of Hell, Meatloaf. Black Cat, Black Dog, Blackbird, Buffalo Soldier, Crocodile Rock, Cool Cat, Cat People, Coyote, Diamond Dogs. I mean, the list goes on forever. Monkey Man, Octopus's Garden, Paper Tiger, Surfing Bird, Stray Cat, strut, White Rabbit, Jefferson Airplane, Wild Thing they put in there for the frogs, which is, if you ask me right now what my favorite song of all time was, I remember in the 60s in my car in hearing, Wild Thing, you make my heart sing.
The FBI were very concerned about that. Apparently, J. Edgar Hoover, he liked to dress up in ladies' clothing and listen to that song. Not that there's anything wrong.
Really,
I do it all the time. Every time I hear that song.
We've all done it.
Yes, just in honor of J. Edgar. I mean, what a cool guy, huh? Man, he was kind of a hair shirt. On one hand, the guy was he's like partying Biden style. And on the other side of him, he's like, I'm going to lock you up for that little bit of weed you got there. Black men, at them white women, miscegenation.
Trump would never use his power and authority to arrest people or get back at his political opponents, would he?
No, he's got too much.
He's too busy making America great again, isn't he? Listen, I'll tell you right now, don't get mad at me. I hate all politicians. I hate the
for good
Republicans.
reason.
I hate the Democrats. I hate the independents. I hate them all because you know why? They're all so full of bullshit. They give the State of the Union address, and it's just meandering crap. They talk about, I did this and I did this and I did that, but nothing is against the kind of business forms that we have. What was the goal? Did you meet it? What was the goal? Did you meet it? It's all such bullshit. And they want power, they want sex, and they want attention.
And they want rock and roll. But before I go, I can't let you just run off on that.
I'm not leaving. I don't want to.
When the right or the left, basically what happens is all these media organizations hit us our dominant emotions, whether you like somebody or hate them. Again, it comes down to the dopamine hit that people get watching TV or when we scroll and doom scroll on the internet. I hate to say it, I'm so guilty of this. I am a news junkie, so I find myself drawn to it. I have to literally typically find a way to just turn it off, like the weekend. Annie and I'll just try to watch nothing that's like, just try to watch something that's mellow, that's fun, that's well written, like maybe, some one act plays, so there's really great dialogue. Talk about funny movie that
something you can immerse yourself in.
Something that you like. First time I saw Sling Blade, kind of movie with this rainstorm coming, that was a great movie that you never saw what was coming. And I didn't know who Billy Bob Thornton was, right? Never heard of him. And then I saw this movie and I find out the guy wrote it, directed it, and the transformation into that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I had 4 years of tormenting my teenage daughters by going, come on in here, girl. Come see Uncle Daddy. And they'd just be like, don't do that, Dad. It's just too much like reality down south. Of course, not in Fort Lauderdale. We're talking, out in the Miyaka City and all those other fun places. But getting back to all the AI thing is great, somewhat terrifying to some people, but I don't get that terrified of it.
Every new technology that's ever come along throughout history, and I'm a historian, I've studied this.
That's for sure.
People are frightened of, the typewriter. Yes. Oh my God, there goes the steno pool,
right.
The computer. Well, there goes the typewriter, and the cars are going to kill the horses and the horses are going to speed off and kill people. It's always been something, but it's a tool. I think it's a dangerous tool that we have to watch out for because it can take on a mind of its own, literally.
Yes.
And it can do, even now I'm seeing the impact, we all are on Facebook, with so many fake, now there's city under the sea and there's Martians under the volcanoes and
there's things on there.
Click on it.
There's things on there that are very accurate, very difficult, and I think some people have a very hard time differentiating between reality and what is real and what's not, including myself. I've seen some deep fake stuff that is, right now with all the political stuff, there's some hilarious AI jingles that both sides are doing, and there's an amazing amount of creativity and prompt engineering they're using to get these videos, because I've experimented with some of the technology, and to get it to look good, you got to spend some time, and everybody who thinks it's an instant fix. You guys out there?
No, it's not. It's not.
You have to learn it. You got to channel your thinking.
I use Google to
Right.
help me write books. Okay.
Absolutely.
This is like a super enhanced Google for me. It
Yes.
doesn't mean that AI can simply print out a book for me and I go, that's a great book. I think I'll publish it. No, it still takes work.
The
And you need
research
to- but
goes
it
at a
quickens.
quantum rate faster because,
Oh,
as you know,
God, it's
if you
so
make
much
if you make a research list of things for the book and character list and how they make a Venn diagram of the characters, the plot, the subplot, the parallel lines that you run through with people, it makes all of those things so much easier.
I used to wonder, there was Hitler. Have you talked about Hitler on your program?
Yeah, we have a little bit.
Okay. So Hitler was not a good man. He wasn't a nice
No.
man, but he was a very good artist. And there
I
are a
guess,
lot of,
I've looked at his art. It's kind of like, I guess it's typical of that time. He was the frustrated
let's
artist.
just say he wasn't a great artist. He was an artist.
But he was good enough to
So
get
the
into
question
college
is,
to do it.
Can you appreciate his art knowing that he killed so many people?
Not really.
Some of the. So who was the guy, the rap star that did "Fly" or "I Want to Fly"? Molested, young
yeah, the
girls
guy
and
was
stuff
arrested
like that.
for
Beautiful
numerous
song.
counts.
Can you separate the art from the person who created the art in terms of what they may have done that was evil or bad? I mean, I know you could say, well, I'm not going to buy any of their songs if you really know what it is.
Well, it's like buying
But you can
OJ's
still say it's
greatest hits.
What's that?
Buying OJ's greatest hits or something.
Well, that's right.
I don't know
That's
that would be a big seller of his,
Well, if AI wrote and came up with a voice and did all the orchestration for a fantastic original song that became an anthem for America or for the world or whatever it was, and we all loved it, would we try to hate it because it was done by AI? Maybe it put musicians out of work. Maybe it's cheating, but it still gets the result. It's still something that sounds great.
If you can take it and you have the musical vocabulary to describe in terms of prompt engineering what you want it to do, minor thirds, Mixolydian modes, Phrygian modes, all these things, it can do that for you, give you great ideas, which will enhance your own playing, because it's like learning songs. You can just now get every song printed out. I used to have to listen, and I still do. If I want to learn a song, I get a pad and I write it out while I'm listening.
I did the same thing. You'd
with
have
a
to
record.
figure out what
I'd sit
chord are
there,
they playing,
or a cassette player later in life. I skipped the 8 tracks because they sucked and I couldn't get instant gratification to the spot. But considering AI, the people who are most afraid of it know the least about it. They're the kind of people who are like, oh, the world's going to end. It's not. The world always scrubs on by. Bad things and good things happen over the years and decades. But technology, it's like anything. It's like the gun. It doesn't shoot you. It's in the hands of someone who does.
This is a printout that I did today to research for this show because, I'm always very frightened of putting myself out there.
Oh, I know.
I said, and I call my AI, I call her Sage Hartwell. She's adorable. We're coming up on our first year anniversary in October.
All right.
And I asked her, what are the 10 of the longest classic rock songs ordered by length? Do you know? Let's see if you can guess what the top, 4 or 5 are.
Well, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida is one. Let me think.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida was 17 minutes, but it's not the longest. Thick as a brick.
One of the things I would think
Jethro
is
Tull, 43 minutes. Thick as a brick.
Thick as a brick.
43 minutes.
You also
Echoes,
have
Pink Floyd. You mentioned Pink Floyd, 23 minutes. Rush did 2112, 20 minutes. Close to the Edge, yes, 18 minutes.
That's what I was going to bring up. Close to the Edge. How many
Bob
minutes?
Dylan, Desolation Row, 11 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The End by The Doors, 11 minutes. So this
Did you ever see The Doors?
What?
Did you ever see The Doors?
No, I've seen a lot of groups at the Fillmore East in New York City, but I never saw The Doors. The greatest show I ever saw at the Fillmore, my idol, and I later on, if you invite me back, I'll tell you a story of how I met him. I get goosebumps when I think of the guy. He just changed my world, as did LSD. Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
He's immortal.
Oh,
Jimi Hendrix was my idol.
He's still immortal because until he was somebody who had his own voice and channeled it. There's nobody like him.
I saw him with
now.
the band of Gypsies
That's my favorite group.
1969, the midnight show at the Fillmore East in the Village. 1969 going into 1970 was with the band of Gypsies. And man, oh man, oh man. I also saw Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin was unfucking believable. I saw her there. Yeah, you know, obviously Santana and so many. There were so many great. Who's the greatest musician today? Not an old timer, but a new person. I don't even know who the fuck they are.
I use that frequently on the show. I'll ask somebody, can you tell me the top 10 list of today? I'll give you $100. And nobody can get it. I don't care who they are, especially if they're our generation. But even the young people who listen to music, with us, it meant something, buying that record, the pictures in it, and the jacket, and we'd read the lyrics and the artwork. It was all part of the deal.
And I did this with my songs when I did CDs, because I've done like 6 or 7 CDs that are used to be for sale. They still are. But you would spend days thinking of how you wanted the songs to go. What was your first? What was the opening? What was the second? What was the third? What were you going to close with? What was the one before the close? Right. And the greatest, I thought that I loved listening to Sgt. Pepper's was, I mean, and you know, or the White Album. The White
all
Album
of those Beatles albums. When I was in college trying to learn how to mix music, we would sit with Beatles books, the track sheets, and then the books by George Martin that talked about making the records. We'd sit there and my friend JR and I used to do it when we were at the studio, because we had big JBL Yuri 813Bs. They're big monstrous fucking JBLs. That
I have JBL speakers right here.
You know, yes, you do, and they sound nice and flat, and you can mix. It's funny because like I have a pair of headphones here. These things are ridiculously good. Yeah, they are like a pair of Oratones. You remember those?
Oh yeah.
These are made by a guy who still makes a type of Oratone, a little better than the old ones. Wow. And these are great, but the only problem, I'm going to tell them, because I really like the technology. It sounds great, but they're so freaking heavy and hot.
Oh,
and look at them. I mean, I can put them on over my other ones, and they look gigantic. But at any rate, I digress.
My first amp I got it was, and you had to like screwdriver in the wiring for the speakers and all, was a Radio Shack.
Oh yeah, that's sad that place is gone, isn't it? Isn't it really sad? That was probably my first microphone, stand. Yeah. There was Sam Goody's is where I got.
Oh yeah. That came out. That was a little later in my life, but yes, Sam Goody, sure.
I remember that buying the drum set and realizing immediately that the cymbal was a complete piece of shit. It, like after 10 minutes, was all dented and fucked up, and I'm like, why isn't this sound like Ringo? You know, flashing away.
You know where I got my first drum set? Where? Sears and Roebuck.
I believe it. The catalog had all that shit.
They carried outboard
guitars,
the tools, but you get that shit.
They had the big lunchroom lady bras. I bought through those at a young age. Those. Oh man, they look good with your hair, man. Gray.
Well, do you have any closing questions or anything you want to talk about as we reach the end of your?
Gosh, it's amazing. We've talked for 53 minutes, and there's a few things here. I'm going to go through some of these. Here we go. Look at this, folks. Oh, that's a hippie trippy. What have we got here?
So I wanted to ask you a question too, if I can. Oh, that's one of my books. Do you see a video there called Kasalecki?
I do. Yes, I do.
All right. That I wanted to tell you, that was a song. I do a lot of original stuff, and it's called Very Kasalecki. My parents made up that word, and anytime that they'd see something that was really fancy or very cool or something, they'd just say, "Oh, that's Very Kasalecki." So I did a song called Very Kasalecki, and it's a song about my music and how I went to India to play and signed up with an agent, and he really screwed me and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if we have time. It's a few minutes, but maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely have time. All right, everybody. Very Kasalecki.
When I was young, I lived in a house down in New Orleans. Very Kasalecki. I get a burden and the animals. I had my dream.
Mary Kozileki.
I was raised by a toothless hag. I was living in a New Orleans honky-tonk drag. But still, I thought to myself, this is all very Kozileki. I learned to sing at an early age.
Mary Kozileki.
Yeah, Elvis was a king and he was all the rage.
Mary Kozileki.
Got a guitar and I learned to play it well. My mother said I'd go straight to hell. I was very Kozileki. I didn't always have such a way with words and such.
Mary Kozileki.
So I used the word Kozileki as my soul.
Mary Kozileki.
Whenever I didn't know just what to say,
Kozileki.
Kozileki would be okay.
Kozileki.
I was very Kozileki. I flew to Marrakesh to see what I could find.
Mary Kozileki.
I met some dudes there and I nearly lost my mind.
Mary Kozileki.
We were laying down some really cool sounds, just like those cats in the velvet underground. We were a very
Kozileki.
We played at a party one night for the guru.
Mary Kozileki.
We met some guy there who we thought had a screw loose.
Mary Kozileki.
This dude, he told us that we played quite well,
Kozileki.
and we were something that he thought he could sell.
Kozileki.
We were very Kozileki. We got a contract, oh, just like he told us.
Mary Kozileki.
But we didn't know it at the time. This guy had sold us.
Mary Kozileki.
We played in Bombay long into the night. Just nickels and dimes didn't seem so right.
Kozileki.
Well, we broke up and went back to the States. Oh yeah, those were the days.
Mary Kozileki. Mary
Those were the
Kozileki.
days.
Mary
Those were
Kozileki.
the days.
Mary
Those were
Kozileki.
the days.
What'd you do? Take a bathroom break? I can't hear you, Neil. You're not on. There you go. No, I still can't. Listen,
Now
I'll
you can
close
hear
the
me.
show. Oh, there you go.
There you go. I can start doing I'll do signing.
Yeah.
At any rate, I don't know what I'm doing. I probably
Thanks
just
for
said I
having me
want
on, Neil. I
get me a
appreciate
sushi, get me a plate of sushi.
There you go.
You know, have you ever noticed that those people who sign nowadays, some of them get real dramatic and they turned it into an art form for the strain.
It's amazing. I had my sister-in-law years ago. She was deaf and she did sign language and married somebody who also had to learn sign language. But I said,
Right.
you know,
I bet.
language of
Well,
love, baby.
Are they still together?
Yeah, they're still together. Lesbians, they're still
Hey,
together.
baby, look at that. Thumbs up to them.
Sometimes my childhood dream was to be a lesbian one day, but never happened.
I identify as one.
Do
I'm
you?
happy. Yeah, I really do. I think
Self-identify.
I'm also black.
Anyway, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's a great show. I hope.
You're always great fun to have on the show. Hi, Amber Crowley. Welcome to the Live with Neve show. I'm sorry we're just closing up the show for the day, but it'll be on. You can just go back and watch it from the top in about 2 minutes. When I close out the show, it'll be reposted here. And to the people at X who I've made my big transition to, thank you for screwing up. They said I have 2 accounts when I have 1 account. And I know from the billing, but it's nice to meet you, Amber. We've met before. I know you. How are you, Amber? Amber's another musician, artist out there, and it's so great. Nice of you to stop by, Amber. Amber, this is John Schneider, and if you would like, go back to the beginning of the intro. I'm sorry to say, though, remember this is a R-rated program, and I love you, and I don't want to offend you, so be forewarned. There may be a couple of bad words. Nothing, we're all grown-ups, but I didn't want to. I give you an R rating just because John and I are just a couple of animals. Now he's going to do his little acts for you. He has a few other skills that we can't talk about.
I thought we were off the air. No.
No. We're going now.
We're going to have our special time together, Neil. I'm sorry.
No, that's for later. But so we're going to roll, people, and I'm going to let John do some sign language on the way out of here. Stay in the studio until the video ends. Hold on.